Hey, how's it going? Guess where I went last weekend? I went to Ireland! One of the perks of studying abroad is that I get to travel basically all over Europe, which is freaking awesome. So last weekend I went to Ireland. We did Dublin and Galway, and I bought this book of Irish legends for children. So I'm gonna read you a story and show you some pictures from the trip. And I apologize in advance if I mispronounce any names because I am not Irish. Long ago in Ireland, the king had a special army of soldiers called the Fianna to guard him. Cumhal was their most famous leader. His enemies were jealous of him, so they killed him. Cumhal's wife was afraid that her young son Fionn might also be killed, so she took him to two women warriors who lived on the slopes of the Slea Bloom Mountains. She asked the women to teach the young boy all that a son of Cumhal should know, for she knew that one day her son would become one of the Fianna. At that time, any youth wishing to join the Fianna had to pass very difficult tests. He had to defend himself against the spears of 9 men using only a shield. He had to jump over a pole as high as his head, and he had to recite 12 books of poetry. When the women had taught Fionn all the fighting skills he would need, they sent him to Phineagus the poet to learn the 12 books of poetry. Phineagus lived on the banks of the River Boyne. He had spent many years living beside this river and fishing in it. There was a fish in the Boyne known as the salmon of knowledge. The person who caught and ate it would know everything there was to know in the world. Phineagus liked the young fair-haired Fionn and agreed to become his teacher. One day as Fionn was learning poetry, he heard a shout. He rushed to the river, and there stood Phineagus holding a large salmon. "Take the fish and cook it for me, please, Fionn," he said. "Remember, you must not eat any of it." Fionn did as he was told. He cleaned the salmon, lit the fire, and put the salmon over the fire to cook. All was well until a blister rose on the side of the salmon. Without thinking, Fionn reached out and broke the skin of the blister. In doing so, he burnt his thumb and sucked it to stop the pain. He finished cooking the fish as Phineagus returned. The old man looked at Fionn and saw in his eyes the knowledge he had spent so many years searching for. "There is nothing for me to teach you now," he said sadly. "You must go to Tara and take your father's place at the head of the Fianna. Always use your knowledge wisely." Fionn set off at once to join the Fianna. From then on, whenever he had a problem, all he had to do was put his thumb in his mouth, and he had the answer at once. Fionn said goodbye to Phineagus and set off. The road to Tara was busy with people arriving for the great festival of Samhain. Fionn arrived in time for the feast, but there was no seat for him at the banqueting hall. "Who are you?" the High King asked. "I don't recognize you. Tell me your name." "I am Fionn, the son of Cumhal," said the young man. There was a silence in the great hall. All eyes were on Gol Mac Morna, the man who had killed Fionn's father, Cumhal. The king spoke. "You are the son of a friend, and you are welcome to my feast." He put Fionn next to his own son, and the feast began. During the feast, the High King spoke. "For the past 9 years, Tara has been visited on the festival of Samhain by an evil spirit. This spirit appears in the form of a fire-breathing dragon which causes great damage. My magicians are powerless. Many warriors have tried to kill it, but all have failed. Is there anyone among you who will save Tara?" the High King asked. No one spoke. Fionn stood up. "What reward will be given to the person who is successful?" he asked. "I will grant you whatever you want," replied the king. "In that case, I will defend Tara from the evil spirit," said Fionn. Fionn walked to the outer walls of the city. The sky was dark, and there was no sound to be heard. The people were gathered safely inside the walls. Fionn heard footsteps. "Who goes there?" he called. "I am a friend," came the reply. "I was a friend of your father's, and I have come to repay a favor your father did for me. As you know, when the dragon approaches, he plays sweet music. Anyone who hears this music falls asleep at once. Take this magic spear, and as soon as the music begins, press it against your forehead, and the music will have no power over you. I must hurry away now." Fionn was left alone. From the darkness came a low, sweet sound. It was the magic music of the fairy world. Immediately, Fionn put the spear to his forehead, and although the people of Tara fell into a deep sleep, Fionn remained awake. The dragon breathed a long blue flame. Fionn aimed and fired the spear. The dragon fell dead on the spot. Fionn cut off its head. "What is your wish?" the High King asked. "I ask to be a leader of the Fianna, as my father was," replied the proud hero. The king agreed. "You have a choice to make," the High King said to Gol Mac Morna. "You can accept Fionn as your leader, or you must leave Ireland." Gol thought for a while, and then spoke to Fionn. "Here is my hand. I will gladly serve you." Once Gol Mac Morna had submitted, the other warriors of the Fianna followed. So Fionn became their leader, as his father before him had been. Alright, I hope you guys liked the story, and I hope you enjoyed seeing all my pictures, especially the ones where I was sitting on the edge of a cliff, which was basically my favorite thing in the world. Alright, see you guys later.